Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost, where we get you the top 50 stories from around the world. I'm Alison Lagrange, coming to you live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin. In our top stories, Israeli military says that the ceasefire with Hezbollah has been violated. IDF tanks fired at 6 different locations in southern parts of Lebanon. Israeli forces said that they noticed some suspects entering the southern zone. At least 2 people were also reportedly wounded in the Markaba region. Several of U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet picks received bomb threats on Wednesday. One of the nominees reported a pipe bomb scare sent with a pro-Palestinian message. Trump's pick for U.S. envoy to the United Nations was also among the people targeted. The U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation has said the matter is under investigation. Meanwhile, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has tapped Keith Kellogg to serve as the special envoy for Ukraine and Russia. Kellogg is a retired lieutenant general. His task will be to end the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. Kellogg was also the chief of staff for the White House National Security Council during Trump's first term. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum spoke to U.S. President-elect Donald Trump on a call. Trump said that she had agreed to stop U.S.-bound migration. Sheinbaum, after the call, has said that her country did not plan to close its border. The 2 leaders also discussed strengthening collaboration and security issues. This call comes amid Trump's threat of imposing sweeping tariffs on Mexican goods. U.S. President Joe Biden has reportedly approved an arms package to Israel worth $680 million. This comes just a day after the announcement of the ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. The arms package would reportedly include hundreds of small-diameter bombs and thousands of joint direct attack munition kits. Billionaire Elon Musk, who has become a close aide to U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, is set to hold talks with Republican lawmakers next week. Musk has been tapped by Trump to head a new department of government efficiency. Musk will meet Republican leaders to discuss his new role. And Russia's deputy UN ambassador Dmitry Polyansky has issued a warning to the Ukrainian military. He said any decision to restrict support to Ukraine by the Trump regime would be a death sentence for Kiev's army. Polyansky also accused Kiev of dragging NATO countries into the conflict with Russia. He also said Joe Biden tried creating a mess for Russia by supporting Ukraine. And Russian President Vladimir Putin arrived in Kazakhstan for a 2-day visit on the 27th of November. The trip is expected to focus on the energy ties between both countries. The Russian leader was greeted by his Kazakh counterpart Kassym-Jomart Tokayev in Astana. In recent months, trade ties between Moscow and its Central Asian ally have frayed. The Iran-backed Hezbollah group says it had secured victory over Israel on Wednesday. It said, and I quote unquote, "Victory from God Almighty was the ally of the righteous cause." This was the group's first statement after a ceasefire was enforced in Lebanon. Hezbollah also said that it will always be ready to fight the Israeli army. And scuffles broke out between pro- and anti-government protesters in Serbia's Belgrade on Wednesday. The unrest was over the death of 15 people who died after a canopy collapsed at a railway station earlier this month in the western city of Novi. And anti-government protesters accused the government of corruption. And former Argentine President Alberto Fernandez has testified in court in an alleged corruption case. Fernandez is suspected of mismanaging government's money by the use of brokers. The main broker was the husband of Fernandez's personal secretary. At least 39 people have reportedly been summoned in the case. India reportedly tested its nuclear-capable K-4 missile yesterday. The missile was tested from the newly commissioned INS Arigat submarine. Reports say the K-4 missiles are capable of striking a range of up to 3,500 kilometers. The test was the first from the nuclear-powered submarine, the INS Arigat. And India's External Affairs Minister, S. Jaishankar, met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi earlier today. Both leaders discussed the growing attacks on Hindus in neighboring Bangladesh. Jaishankar is also going to address the parliament on this matter soon. In Pakistan, a key aide to jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan said hundreds of protesters were shot during the unrest in the capital Islamabad. Police had earlier said no lethal arms were used, and only Imran Khan's supporters were arrested during Tuesday's crackdown. Thousands of Khan supporters carried out protests this week to demand his release. And on to climate news. Heavy rain and strong winds have inundated several parts of Sri Lanka, leaving 8 people missing and 1 woman dead in a mudslide. Authorities warn that a deep depression over the Bay of Bengal is likely to intensify into a cyclonic storm. It is expected to make landfall on the east coast of Sri Lanka on Thursday. The India Meteorological Department has warned fishermen in the south not to venture out into the sea. It said that a deep depression is forming over the southwest Bay of Bengal, and the depression is expected to intensify into a cyclonic storm named Fengal, and to make landfall tomorrow morning in Tamil Nadu's coast. The Indian Navy has activated a disaster response plan for the cyclone. And South Korea's Seoul experienced its heaviest November snowfall on record on Wednesday. The severe weather caused traffic chaos, power outages, and the cancellation or delay of over 200 flights, alongside the suspension of at least 70 ferries. Authorities warned of further disruptions as they expect more snowfall. According to a research published in Climate Smart Agriculture, due to a 3-degree rise in temperature, the potato crop yields have been slashed by more than half. Potatoes are highly sensitive to heat. Farmers in regions like Inner Mongolia are already grappling with extreme weather, including heavy rainfall that delays harvests and worsens potato diseases like late blight. And according to reports, China, the world's largest coal consumer, could see its coal consumption peak as early as 2025. China's coal demand surged last year and is expected to grow further in 2024. China aims to peak emissions by 2030 and achieve net zero by 2060, aligning with Paris Agreement targets. And air pollution from landscape fires, including wildfires and controlled burns, causes over 1.5 million deaths globally each year, with the majority occurring in developing nations. Heart disease and respiratory illnesses were the leading causes, with sub-Saharan Africa, China, India, Indonesia, and Nigeria bearing the brunt of the toll. And on to business and tech news now. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission has reportedly opened a probe against the tech giant Microsoft. It is investigating a broad range of businesses that may have allegedly violated competition laws. This includes Microsoft software licensing, cloud computing, and artificial intelligence products. Reports said the probe was ordered by Federal Trade Commission Chair Lina Khan. Meanwhile, Microsoft has denied allegations made by some social media users. They claim that the company uses customer data to train artificial intelligence models. Some users were pointing to Microsoft 365's Connected Experience feature. Microsoft clarified that it only enables co-authoring and cloud storage access. And e-commerce giant Amazon has reportedly developed a new generative artificial intelligence tool. Dubbed Olympus, it can process text, images, as well as videos. And reports say Amazon's new AI model can search for specific scenes within videos. It is expected to be released by next week. And Google has asked a U.S. appeals court to dismiss the verdict in a case filed by the gaming firm Epic Games. Google argued that the court made legal errors that benefits Epic Games. Earlier this year, a district court ruled that Google holds an illegal monopoly over app distribution on Android phones. And chipmaker Intel has revealed details of key provisions in the U.S. government subsidies deal. The Biden administration has announced $7.8 billion in subsidies for Intel to help it build new chip plants in the U.S. However, under the agreement, Intel will not be allowed to sell its new custom chip-making unit. Earlier, it was reported that the chipmaker was considering selling the unit due to severe financial constraints. And French telecoms giant Orange has partnered with social media giant Meta and OpenAI. They will build custom artificial intelligence models that understand West African languages. Orange plans to use OpenAI's Whisper and Meta's Llama AI models. And Meta's CEO Mark Zuckerberg has met with U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. The two had dinner at Trump's Florida residence. Meta stated that Zuckerberg was there at the invitation of Donald Trump, adding that it was an opportunity to meet with members of the incoming administration. And Romania's telecoms regulator has called for the suspension of the Chinese social media platform TikTok. That is, until a probe into its involvement in a recent presidential election is concluded. The regulator aims to examine how TikTok may have influenced the surprising election outcome. Independent far-right politician Călin Georgescu saw a surge in the polls. The country is set to hold a runoff poll on the 8th of December. And U.S. consumer prices rose by 2.3% in October this year. Data showed that inflation was driven by rents, restaurant prices, and insurance premiums. However, Americans' income also grew by 0.6% from September to October. And the Russian currency, the ruble, has plunged to its lowest level since March of 2022, just weeks after Russia launched its invasion of Ukraine. The ruble was traded at around 110 against the US dollar. In response, the Russian central bank said it would stop buying foreign currency to ease pressure on the financial markets. And moving on to sports news, and we start with cricket. Indian pacer Jasprit Bumrah has regained the top spot in the ICC Test bowling rankings. He dethroned Kishore Rabada and Joshua Hazlewood to rise to the number one spot. Bumrah achieved this feat following his incredible performance against Australia in Perth. He picked up 8 wickets and gave away 72 runs in the first test. And Australia have named an uncapped all-rounder for the India series. Bo Webster will replace Mitchell Marsh in the Australian squad. Marsh is recovering from a soreness after bowling 17 overs in Australia's heavy loss in Perth. The second test of the Border Gavaskar Trophy starts on the 6th of December. In football, the former Georgian international Mikhail Kvelashvili has been nominated for the post of president. Now, Mikhail featured for the Premier League club Manchester City in the past and took up politics in 2016. The country's ruling party has selected him as the presidential candidate after winning last month's election. And Uruguayan striker Luis Suarez has extended his contract with Inter Miami. The 37-year-old will now stay with the club till at least the next season. Suarez is Inter Miami's leading goal scorer this season with 20 goals. And Lionel Messi's eldest son, made his debut at a youth tournament in Argentina for Inter Miami's youth side. He played at the Newell's Cup competition in Rosario. The 12-year-old wore Messi's iconic number 10 jersey, but faced a tough start as his team lost 1-0 to Newell's Old Boys. And FIFA has announced a $50 million legacy fund from the 2022 Qatar World Cup. This is to aid vulnerable communities globally. The fund focuses on health, education, and refugee support initiatives. Key partners include the World Health Organization and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. The initiative is a part of FIFA's long-term commitment to using sports for global development. And Indian teen Gukesh Dommaraju has defeated the reigning champion Ding Liren in Game 3 of the World Chess Championship. Gukesh, playing white, leveled the scores at 1.5 to 1.5 before the tournament's first rest day. Ding struggled with time management, spending over 30 minutes on a single move. Under pressure, the 32-year-old had just 8 minutes left for 11 critical moves. And Taiwan boxer Lin Yu-tin has withdrawn from the UK event over gender dispute. Taiwan's Olympic champion Lin Yu-tin pulled out of a UK boxing event after her gender eligibility was questioned. Algerian boxer Imani Khalif faced similar issues during the Paris Olympics. The controversy arose ahead of the World Boxing Cup finals in Sheffield. And Ukrainian diver Katerina Sadoriska set a new world record. She broke her own world record by diving 82 meters off Dominica's coast. She completed the no-fins discipline dive in 3 minutes and 10 seconds. This is her 6th world record, topping her recent 80-meter record set in Greece. And in golf, the PGA Tour and Live Golf are teaming up for a big TV event called the Crypto.com Showdown on the 17th of December. Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy will face Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau in an 18-hole match. The event will take place at the Shadow Creek Golf Course in Las Vegas. The prize purse for this event is at least $10 million in cryptocurrency. And actor Melissa Barrera opened up about the professional fallout following her firing from Scream 7 in 2003. Barrera was let go after her social media posts about the Israel-Hamas conflict criticized Israel's actions as genocide and ethnic cleansing. She said, and I quote, "It was quiet for like 10 months. The actor only received smaller offers, often from those assuming she would accept anything available." And in other entertainment news, actor Halle Berry has leveled serious accusations against her ex-husband, Oliver Martinez, amid their ongoing custody battle. The actor, 58, has alleged that Martinez conspired with her former nanny to create false reports against her. Berry claims that her former employees were involved in a scheme to undermine her credibility as a parent. Actor Barry Coogan will be stepping into the shoes of Ringo Starr in an upcoming Beatles biopic series. This is being confirmed by the legendary drummer himself. In an interview, Starr seemed pleased with the casting, joking that Coogan is somewhere taking drum lessons, though he hoped not too many. This highly anticipated film will feature 4 separate movies, each told from the perspective of a different Beatle. And Miles Marsenden, known for his role in Cloak and Dagger and Doom Patrol, is set to co-lead the thriller Croatian alongside filmmaker Brett Bankhead. Now, the film will also feature Nico Tirozzi, Grace Patterson, and Mike Markoff. The principal photography is scheduled to begin in December in Texas. And Universal Pictures has refuted claims of a pay disparity between Wicked stars Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. The spokesperson for the studio called the reports false. This comes after rumors started doing the rounds that stated Grande was paid significantly more than her co-star. The rumors, which circulated on platforms like TikTok and Reddit, suggested that Grande earned $15 million, while Erivo was reportedly paid $1 million. And audiences in the US will have to wait a little longer for their next Paddington adventure, as the third film in the beloved franchise, Paddington in Peru, has shifted its release date. Originally slated for the 17th of January 2025, the family film will now premiere on the 14th of February 2025. Paddington 3 made its debut in the UK earlier this month, achieving a record-breaking opening weekend with nearly $12.4 million. And American musician Marilyn Manson has agreed to dismiss his lawsuit against former fiancée Evan Rachel Wood. He will also pay her nearly $327,000 in attorney fees. The lawsuit, filed in 2022, accuses Wood of fabricating allegations of sexual and physical abuse during their relationship. And mark your calendars for January the 24th, as The Weeknd will release his highly anticipated new album, Hurry Up Tomorrow. The next day, on the 25th of January, fans will get a special treat with a one-night-only live performance at the Rose Bowl Stadium in California, where the entire stadium floor will be transformed for the show. And television personality Kim Kardashian has denied getting paid for her photo shoot with the Tesla robot. Her representative stated that the 44-year-old did not receive any payment for the shoot, and this comes after rumors that Elon Musk had paid her for the campaign. Kardashian set the internet abuzz with the shoot featuring a $30,000 Tesla robot Optimus. It was part of her latest collaboration with Balenciaga. And Mark Cherry, the creator of Desperate Housewives, has hinted at the possibility of exploring a new chapter in the iconic series with a prequel. In a recent interview, Cherry suggested a storyline set in a different era, such as 1966. Cherry emphasized that any reboot or continuation would need a strong creative justification. He said, and I quote, "If you do a reboot, you have to have a really good artistic reason." And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.